we're talking about mainly that have switched up. Sam Walker, he didn't start last night, but he finished the last 2 sets. And of course, Motte as well.
Here's the starting lineups confirmed. Italy: Vittori, Lanza, Aleti, Randazzo, Anzani, Travica, and Giovi is the starting 7. Of course, Mauro Baruto is the coach. And the Australian lineup: Sanderson, Passier, Edgar, Walker, Motte, Peacock and Perry. And of course, Roberto is the coach, the wonderful Roberto Santilli, the new Italian coach for the Volleyroos. So a lot of energy here. The music is blasting. And South Australia, their last chance for now to see world-class World League volleyball. The number 4 seeded team in the world and 8-time winners of this tournament, the World League, up against our own number 13 seeded team in the Volleyroos. There he is. Mauro Baruto looks pretty cool and calm. And of course, our Italian coach, Roberto Santilli, in only his 2nd World League match coaching the Volleyroos. All is in readiness. We are underway.
Hello. Last night the Italians were so consistent with their serving, so I'm sure that doesn't mean anything at this point, but Lanza misses his first serve. That's okay. See what Thomas Edgar has for us tonight.
Ball just out off the block. One of the things that was interesting for people that might have seen the Volleyroos play the first game, there was some criticism about them missing a lot of serve, but talking to them after the match, Roberto Santilli has given them this new mindset to just go out and be super aggressive with the serve. So we'll see the Volleyroos really going after their jump serves today, and they've got a freedom to do that. They've got license to do that.
But that's exactly what they need to be better at tonight, is that serve reception, receiving the Italians' jump serves and float serves. So hopefully Santilli had a word with them, gets them sorted, make sure they pass that ball into Harrison Peacock so he can set up a great attack. It's a better pass.
And the lefty, Sam Walker, opens his account. We talked about young Sammy Walker yesterday. He came on and did some unorthodox things, and the Italians didn't quite know how to handle him, and he grew in confidence as the match went on. Scoreboard 2-all. We play point per rally, folks. Every time we serve, someone gets a point on the board for that. Set of the weekend. Sanderson has pulled that ball somehow out of the net, and Nemo has gobbled that up.
Unbelievable reflexes by Nemo right there to just be there.
Wow.
And drill that ball into the ground.
The
nice
Italians
start.
were stunned. The crowd was stunned. An ace called, or not? Well, that's interesting. An overrule. So the lines judge was calling in. Overruled by the referee, so we're going straight to our first challenge for the match. So folks at home, if you've not seen this in volleyball in Australia before, the teams are allowed to challenge as many calls as they like, and they have 2 unsuccessful calls. Once they've had 2 unsuccessful calls, let's see the replay, called out. So that is a challenge wasted, so only 1 unsuccessful attempt remains for the Aussies in the set.
Well, Thomas Edgar had to really twist and turn to try and hit that ball. Had 3 blocks up against him. Unfortunately, straight down onto the Aussie side.
Italy take a 4-3 lead, early stages of the first set. That ball's going to be called as a lift. It stayed in the hands of Harry Peacock way too long. The pass really speared in at his throat, and he's had to try and lift it from kind of chest height back above his head. And when the setter plays the ball, they've got to hit the ball cleanly. It can't be caught, carried or thrown, and that's a pretty clear call.
That time the Italians just throwing the ball a little bit too far into the court on the jump serve. So as a server, when you take off from the ground, you must be behind the back line. So if the toss is too far in, that is a fault. Nice quick attack through the middle. easily done when they get a great pass into the setter. So the setter has a lot of options. You have 3 players at the front of the court, 3 players at the back. Straight down, only one blocker from Australia able to get into that. Couldn't stop it. Great pass from Australia. Edgar looking for a touch on that, and he gets it.
Wow, that's interesting. He kind of was begging for it. And to the credit of Travica, the captain of Italy, he kind of fessed up a little bit as well. So that's a nice touch, a bit of sportsmanship between the two nations. So 5-6 volley roos through Harrison Peacock. Nice pick up, the Italians. What a shame. The ball looked like it was going well deep at the last moment. Sam Walker in position 6, or the middle back, decided to make a play on the ball, which he couldn't retrieve. So 7-5, but good early signs, Kerry, from the volley room.
Great start for Australia. Great start for Australia, yep. Just need to stay consistent, not do too much too soon. Hold with them in the beginning, push a little bit in the middle, and then hold at the end. Great pass, sets up the quick attack, beautifully hit by Passier.
And I'm going to go so far, Kerry, as to say that if Travis Passier and Nehemiah Mote through the middle of the Australian attack are busy spiking today, it means that things are going better for the volley roos. We need more of that, more opportunity for guys like Travis Passier. That's a massive serve. My goodness. That's
Sanderson's job. His job is to really have a great, consistent, hard jump serve. He has a small toss on his jump serve.
Volley roos 7-all. Sweet blocking. Now the Italians are going to challenge this. That ball has landed harder than it was hit. This is going to look absolutely breathtaking. The outside arm. Anytime the ball lands before the spiking player, you know you've been shut down big time. But the question and what they're reviewing is whether it was in or not, and that's going to be interesting because Sam Walker got a big piece of it. So this is the first challenge of the match for the Italians. And you can see they're showing it on the big screen. The ball was in by an absolute mile, so that is breathtaking. And one challenge, I guess, used up by the Italians. So the technical timeout, Australia sneak out to a lead at 8-7 and carry good signs early.
Good signs. The Aussies look really confident. They look very positive. The heads are up. Good body language. I like to see that at the beginning. They need to hold that up throughout the whole evening, not just at the beginning. The Italians, you know, they're solid, they're consistent. We'll see. They probably need to lift and get into their groove as well, but it's a great chance for the Aussies to just jump ahead a few points now. If they can get a few points into the middle of this match, then that'll give them a good leeway, I guess, towards the end of the match where the Italians have to fight back. You don't want to be in that fighting back position.
No, you don't. Interestingly, for Mauro Baruto, the Italian coaches started with 2 guys that didn't see much game time last night in the number 4, and Luca Vittori, and the 12, Luigi Randazzo. So it's a slightly different squad today on the floor for Italy. So he talked last night about some of the athletes being making their debut yesterday for Italy. So he's giving a few more athletes the opportunity to get some experience. Both captains just being chatted to by the first referee to remind them of their duties as gentlemen and scholars, no doubt. Sanderson takes us underway again.
Another good, solid Sanderson serve. 3 blocks. Easy play there for Australia. Nowhere to go for the Italian spiker. Had to drive it out, past and out the block.
We talked a little bit about Roberto Santilli, the volley roos coach, giving them license from the service line, and this is one guy in Sando that can get really hot from the service line.
I think he's looking for a touch off the block there, asking for another challenge perhaps. Yep, waiting patiently.
Yeah, the third referee is reviewing the footage, and we'll see it in a moment, but he looks nonplussed, the Italian coach.
He's not happy with his charges. Not a great start.
A little tiny net touch. Yeah, look, it's going to be reversed. That's a good challenge, so that challenge clearly not wasted. The question that Tom Edgar is rightly asking, though, sir, is if the ball has already hit the ground, then the point is dead and then the net touch is irrelevant, is what he's saying. But I think he's going to lose that debate. So in the end, a good challenge by the Italian coach.
Nice pass, Australia. Oh, nice fast dump into the Australians' block. Passier was a little bit off the net that time. A little bit late on the block.
Yeah, just wiped down the front of him. It's not an attractive skill, but look effective. It looks a bit like a throw or a carry for the purists, but effective on that occasion. So 9-8, the Italians back in the lead. Well left, Sam Walker. Good vision to get out of the way of that one, and clearly missed. Nehemiah Mote comes back on to front court. Luke Perry, the libero, comes up, and you'll see the libero come and go, folks. He can kind of wander on and off at certain times at his own discretion to play a defensive role. Sam Walker on a one-on-one position at the net. Not quite able to shut the Italian spiker down.
Set up by a good pass from Italy there, and they did that really well last night, passing Australia's big jump serve. So we saw there was a little bit of a difference when Australia started to float serve. Here comes another big jump serve. Nicely taken.
Oh, what a shame. A slight air ball from Sanderson from the back row. We didn't see a lot of that option last night, that opportunity to bring the back row player Sanderson through position 6, or the pipe we call that, when they spike from the back court behind the 3-metre line. Can be quite effective, but not on that occasion.
Big strike, yeah, from Lanza then. That was a fast play, but just missing the sideline. So obviously he's trying to target somebody down the sideline there, make the Aussies work hard. They all have statistics on each other. They know what the players' percentages are in their passing, blocking, spiking, and they try and match up their strengths against the other team's weaknesses. Defence Australia, just out.
And there you go again, something Italy did really well in the first match. That was one of Thomas Edgar's bigger serves, but the Italians looked like they'd lost their shape. The set was set up from a fair way off the net, but they still got a really effective attack on the ball. So for the Volleyroos, just because they've hit a good serve, you know, we know that they've still got a job to do. Looked like a little net touch, but not detected. The Italians had 3 on Sam Walker there. He looked like he was trying to get the outside blocker's arm. You see all 3 Italian blockers effectively. What actually happened is he hit the antenna, is what it looked like to me, or maybe he hit the net. The athletes, if they hit the net outside the antenna, usually not called. Free ball opportunity. Oh, the Volleyroos, hang your heads in shame.
That's frustrating for Australia. Thomas Edgar is right in front of him, but he's the big hitter. He needs to be able to get back and hit. So we need some of our other players to come in and take that. Luke Perry, that's probably his ball. See the Australian in the white shirt, different to the strip of the other players, the green. So that's the libero, and that's his job, is to take the first touch, whether it's serve reception or whether it's in defence.
Yeah, a little bit of a mental lapse there, and the communication looked like it was non-existent. So the Volleyroos, through the agency of their coach Roberto Santilli, will take a timeout. The teams get the opportunity to call 2 30-second timeouts, and of course we have the technical timeouts when the first team gets to 8 and 16. They go for a minute. So plenty of opportunities to take a break and reset the compass. So for Santilli, the Australian coach, he just wants the Volleyroos to refocus. They started well, a little bit like we saw in the first match show, that the Italian squad could put their foot down in the middle of the set. So he doesn't want to see this 4-point lead open up anymore. This is the 24 from Italy. Aletti to serve.
Nicely taken. High ball to the outside. Beautiful hit down the line. Edgar was there. Randazzo just too good. You can see him in the air. He turns it down the line. Didn't look like he had any space to go, but he just had 30 centimetres. That's all you need, the width of the ball. That got a touch off the block, so Sam Walker, another positive spike from him. As he runs back now, it's his turn to serve. Perhaps we can see him get a few aces now. There it is off the top of the block.
And that's a smarter hit. Just using the blocker's hands, hitting high and hard. And the opportunity wasted, unfortunately. The Volleyroos, good soft hands on the block, got that transition opportunity and then threw it away, unfortunately. So we go to the technical timeout in set number 1 of this match, with the Italian squad 16 leading the Volleyroos 11. And again, we go to 25 points. First team that gets to 25 with a 2-point margin will win the set. We'll see that again. That opportunity to run the quick attack, Nemo, I don't think he was expecting it. He didn't really swing his arms. He was too concerned perhaps on the decoy roll, but somewhere the communication broke down. So again, we play best of 5 sets. Last night's game was only a 4-setter. Santilli.
Yeah, he's really giving it to the boys, I think, now. Very frustrated now, Santilli, the coach. Speaks very good English. In fact, last night we spoke to him after the match. He's very, very well versed in our language, so there's definitely no communication problems with his team, but I think he just needs to rev them up a little bit. Doing a few silly things, mistakes that shouldn't be happening, and they're not mistakes where they're risking something like going for a serve and just missing it. They're actually a couple of little silly errors. Get rid of those and they'll be good.
Well, and there you go. A little bit of luck from the Aussies. That jump serve was absolutely flying. I think it came off Walker's chest. I don't think the serve reception was that pure, but we got it back in, and then a spiking error from the back row. You just got to compete. You got to find, and that's what Kerry was talking about. Just find a way to compete. So Nemo to serve.
Free ball for Italy now. Big chance for them again. Going back court. Lanza through the back. He's just so strong when he comes off that 3-metre line. He absolutely charges in, takes off behind the line and lands almost under the net.
Yes, stunning athleticism, and he was close to Italy's best last night. I think his captain was slightly better, but the number 10 was outstanding last night as well. Service error, so the Volleyroos just need to try and close this gap. It's 4 to 5 points, and they can't keep going. So substitution, we're going to see Sukachev come on for Harry Peacock, specifically to the service line. So we've changed out our setter for the Volleyroos. So is Sukachev coming on for a serving role, or is he going to change the attack? It'll be interesting to see what he can bring to this first set. Oh, just for a moment.
Just missed it. Edgar was all over that ball. It didn't even get anywhere near the net. His hands were right over the net, but it just clipped the outside of his hand and went out.
Yeah, what a
unlucky.
shame. Gets so much airtime, Tom Edgar. 18-13, Italy up by 5.
Big set to Edgar. Nicely taken off the hands.
And that's a smart play for Tom, because the set didn't come from the preferred setter and probably wasn't what he wanted, but he was smart enough to wipe the ball off the block and out. So this wonderful Victorian Paul Sanderson back to the service line, hitting some rockets today, and Italy under pressure on that serve receive. Wow.
Well, that was an interesting...
I mean, that's almost an ace, isn't it? They can't get the ball back in a play. Italy had 3 contacts on this ball. This is not going to be a pretty replay for the Italians.
I'm not sure what Vettori was thinking there. He had to just get it in play. Anyway, not a problem. It gets us back 1 point. We're still 4 behind, but we saw this happen last night. Within every set, we were always 3, 4, 5 behind. We'd managed to creep back up again. We'd even it up, and then Italy finished it off. So we'd like to see Australia even it up and then hold it. Hold on to that lead.
Good scrambling defence, the Volleyroos.
Crowd's going off, thinking surely that was a lift, but we'll play on. Big chance here.
Edgar finishes it. And do you know what? I like a lot about that point, Kerry, because they felt they were really hard done by, but they played the whistle and they had to win it ugly, but they got it done.
And that was it. Yeah, that was the lift.
That is some beautiful Italian chowder being dished up here at the Adelaide Arena, but they got on with it. Even the first referee kind of indicating I might have got that one wrong, to his credit. So the Volleyroos stayed tough mentally. 16-19, they'd love an ace from Katia.
Great pass from Italy, sets up the middle play again. They're really handling our big jump servers quite well right now. Not easy to get a ball down on the Italian side in serve reception or in spiking. World-class team, and we're so lucky to have this quality of volleyball here in Australia. The Italians number 4 in the world.
Great up from the libero. He's got to get out of the way now. And then the response is world-class.
What a smart spike. I mean, it doesn't look like a lot. It looks like maybe our blockers made a mistake, but that spiker knew exactly what he was doing. You see this great pick up here. He drills it off the top of the hand. Fantastic stuff. He had 3 blockers to get past.
Absolutely, and that's the little 1%ers that can really demoralise the opposition. If they see you change up your attack, they get the pick up, and then you can convert that clinically. So the Volleyroos call the timeout. It's 21-16.
All around the world. Look also here this afternoon.
Mauro Baruto. A bit more composed at this stage of the first set.
Yeah, there's no hands flying around or arms flying around. Not a lot of yelling going on, so he's obviously happy with his squad right now. The substitutes that didn't play much last night, who are on tonight, doing a pretty good job for Italy. In particular, number 1, Menegotti.
That's a good out call. Late, but good. So 17-21, the Volleyroos down by 4 again. The quest for 25 points to win the first set. Thomas Edgar with a chance to light it up, the skipper for the Volleyroos. Opportunity.
Yes, Edgar!
Well, that was fantastic on so many levels. The Italian scrambling defense and blocking and transition setting was outstanding. But then Sando, the final set, gave Edgar something really, really sweet. And on the back of a monster jump serve, we closed the gap to 3. Edgar again.
And that ball just wasn't there to be hit so hard. The difference right now for Australia and their big jump servers is that they need to recognise when the ball's not quite there to really bury. If it's a little bit, tossed a little bit further into the court, they just need to take a little bit of the heat off, and that's what Italy seem to be doing slightly better with their top spin jump serve.
A little release of pressure there to Edgar. That seems to be the trouble ball for the Volleyroos when they lose their shape on serve reception. It's just sent to Tom, whether he's in the back row or the front row. And that puts a lot of pressure on our captain, but he's executing, I think, slightly better today, so they're good signs.
Oh, unlucky there. The Australian block wasn't well formed. I think Motet turned a little bit too early and the ball was just sort of dribbling through his hands, so unable to keep that one alive for Australia.
I feel like they are not far away from getting that double block together, but they haven't quite got it working yet.
Whoa, how much heat was behind that ball. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that is a stunning serve, and it'll bring up set point. What happened there from Vettori? He's really gone for his jump serve, and it hits Perry on the way through. He was trying to get out of the way. So set points, 5 of them on the board. He has got license to go after this serve.
That's a much better pass. Great defense, Italy.
Oh, Motet, third time's a charm. Wow. The defence from Italy, Kerry, was breathtaking. He has swatted 3 balls and they've got 2 of them back up, and he gets a seat on the bench. So Lincoln Williams will come on to serve, but the Italian squad have still got 4 set points on the board. And in this point per rally format, Australia have to find a way to win 4 points in a row, because any mistake now will hand the first set to the team from Italy.
Just kept that one in. Nicely played. So the first set down to Italy.
There it is, 25-20. Good signs from the Aussies, but the Italians again just 10-15% better at the right times. Fewer errors, and we see them wrap up the first set in an entertaining affair. For the Volleyroos, though, they feel like they could probably lift.
Oh, actually, no, we've had a change of setter. Got Sukachev on for Peacock.
There you go.
So starting off with Sukachev. He normally has been coming on halfway through a set or halfway through the match, so it's very difficult to come off the bench and come on and straight away gel with the team. So giving him a chance now to gel from the beginning of the set. So he'll like that. That'll be a good confidence boost for Sukachev.
We are underway in the second set. So the Aussies claiming they didn't touch the ball on the block, but
saying number 12, Motet touched that, referee.
Let's have a look. The replay may give it away. Hard to tell. Sando was pretty quick to respond that he didn't touch the ball. The ball actually never went in a court, obviously, but it's about who touches it last before it goes out. So first point in the second set to Team Italy. Oh, Nehemiah Motet with the off-speed, and it's interesting, sometimes in that first set, Nemo actually teed off on a couple of those, but the Italians were in short, and picked him up. On this occasion, a little bit of a mishit, but it's deeper, and the Italians not responding to it, so it just goes to show you don't have to use all power to win a point out here. Edgar in a good position. And then Passier with the one arm, kind of lazy falling block. It comes off his hand and goes out. But that's the risk of being the middle blocker. You've got to commit on this guy. He commits, he's coming down, holds his hand up there, and there's really not much else he could do on that occasion. Otherwise, that ball's hitting the floor on his side. So 2-1. The 10 for Italy, again, really good again today.
Edgar missing that one. We saw him miss a few out the sideline, and after the match I had a word to him. He said that he couldn't believe how many times he missed that sideline. So, you know, wonder if he's thinking now, oh, I did it again, I missed that sideline. So he's just got to perhaps get a bit more of an hand-eye on the ball and make sure he strikes it a little bit cleaner. Here he goes again.
Another opportunity, there you go. It's interestingly, it sounds sometimes that we're critical of Tom Edgar, but he gets so much of the attack that it's, you know, when he misses one, it does seem like the end of the world, but he does shoulder such a burden. He's now captain of his team, and again, it's something he takes a lot of pride in. So we're going to see him carrying that load for the Volleyroos. Net touch finally called. It was quite obvious to the people in the stadium. It took a moment for the second referee to respond, but he got it right. Gee, they're a knowledgeable crowd in the Adelaide Arena Stadium, Kerry.
And that man right there in the red shoes, Sanderson, he's taking the second load, I guess, in the attacking world for the Australian team. Last night, Edgar hit 44 balls in total, Sanderson 27. So Edgar almost getting double the amount of spikes as anyone else on his team. So taking a big load for the team. But tonight I think his statistics so far have been better than last night. He certainly looks a lot calmer, a lot happier with himself.
And there go the red shoes that you talked about, Kerry. Really nice article in the newspapers today about Paul Sanderson. He's had some fairly challenging health issues in the last 12 months and meant that he missed the World Championships for the Aussies, and it is absolutely phenomenal the job he's done in getting back and being in the magnificent nick that he's in. So we wish him a continued recovery, and he is just such an inspirational athlete, Paul Sanderson. One of the great volleyballers in the Volley-Roos squad at the moment.
Well, a lot of success comes out of some sort of ailment or some sort of injury, and really shows the mental toughness of a team. You know, when you've got it all happening your way and things are easy, sometimes you don't have the strength to push through. But when the chips are down, it's the tough ones that come through. So it's great to see Sanderson back out there. Puts up a good set for Edgar off the top.
Due was the call, the Italian call for 2, and letting him know that they've got a double block up against him, and he dealt with it really well. They looked like they'd lost their shape, the Italians, but just when you think they're not going to hit a good transition play, they just come up with an option like that. And you know, the Aussies have got to find a way when they put them under pressure. So the challenge has been made, I believe, by Santilli, the Australian coach, has challenged that play. I think he's asking, was it a back row attack?
I was thinking the same thing. It was a really close set to the net, but he was okay.
Yeah, no, he was okay. I saw that. So that was a challenge used by Australia, and that was one wasted. So they only have one challenge remaining. Oh, no, Santilli's he's still not happy. Let's get on with it, says the first referee. You've had your chance. Oh, no, confusion reigns.
Just to clear that up too, as we said before, the 3 players along the back, they can spike the ball, but they have to take off behind the line that's about 3 metres from the middle of the court.
And Santilli's saying that the image that we showed, he didn't believe was the right frame, was the right one that he was challenging. So he's questioning whether they've made the decision on the right bit of evidence.
I actually think it was, because I was watching his feet at the same time. He took off from outside of the court. That's why you can see that dotted line as well, just to show you, because they can take off from outside of the orange part of the court. So that dotted line helps the referees to make sure they stay behind that.
I think it was the right call, for what it's worth. Net touch called on the Italians, so maybe the volley gods have squared up a little bit there for the Volley-Roos. Anyway, Santilli's still blowing up, but he's not going to... I'm sorry, mate. That moment is gone. Edgar on a one-on-one situation, but the Italians over-committing and pressing the net. So this is Edgar to serve at 6-all. Wow. Absolutely exploding. And the Volley-Roo onesies erupt.
That was unbelievable. It was a great toss. He had it in perfect position and he just nailed it. He loves hitting that ball just straight across and straight down the line, I should say, from his body. He likes hitting that from the right side of the court. There it is again, same serve. Oh,
what a shame.
For the Aussies.
And again, another example where it looks like the Italians are out of shape. They don't really attack the ball. The set wasn't really there for the back row attack, but they find a way to win those points that the Australians think they've got the advantage in. So 7-all. This is where the Volley-Roos have to keep going with the Italians. They've allowed them to open up a gap in the middle of the set previously. So the Italian 13, that's their captain, Dragan Travica, running off to retrieve the ball, but he's not allowed to penetrate underneath the net. He can go and chase the ball off court, but he can't go under the net and into the opposition's court because that's considered dangerous. So
well, interesting. I would have thought he would know that. That's quite interesting that he did that.
Yeah, he absolutely steps on the Volley-Roos court. And so the dig is fine. Goes and says good day to the coach and the crew on the Australian bench. nice little pat on the back from the Australian bench. So the technical timeout, like we saw in the first set, Kerry, the Volleyroos had the lead at this point. 8-7 is the same scoreline as the first set.
So Santilli's looking a little calmer in this timeout. He's a bit happier, but he's not kind of screaming at the team. He's talking to Sukachev now, letting him know what he wants him to do when he gets back out there to set the ball. Sukachev is the playmaker. He's the setter, which sets up the attack. Number 14 in the middle, standing in the middle of the front court now. Sam Walker to serve. Nicely taken by Italy through the middle, and that's what's really making it hard for Australia. Great pass, sets up the middle, the blockers are there, but they just can't get together because they still have to protect the outside players. The setter from Italy can push it to the outside quite fast, so it's just that commitment to that middle blocker is really keeping them in the spot in the middle.
Edgar again doesn't hit the clean winner, but you know, they sweat on him. We talked about the load that he carries, but the Italians know that he's the danger man, and for the last couple of attempts at blocking him, they've overcommitted and they've pushed on the net. And the athletes, when they're playing at the net, if they touch the net at any stage, that's instantly the end of the point. It's a technical foul. Nemo serves for Australia. Again, good soft blocking. Trav Passier, the middle blocker, got a little touch on it from the spike from Aletti, the 24, but they couldn't quite respond in the backcourt. So the Aussies, some of the little technical aspects are coming together, getting a bit better. They're getting more touches on ball, so they're finding some fluidity. This is Lanza.
Nicely taken by Walker. Sanderson off the top of the block, so that's great for Australia. I think Australia needs to get a little bit desperate here. Not out of control desperate, but we saw a ball hit the ground in the last point that, you know, it was a soft ball. It should have been picked up. And for me, the desperation here is to actually push for a few points ahead of Italy. Not do anything crazy, but just be desperate to keep that ball off the ground and do everything.
And that is breathtaking, and that's why he was the MVP last night, the setter, Dragan Travica, the 13. This flourish on the set. Look at these hands, some of the best hands in the world. He's set it back over his shoulder. He's done a 360 pirouette, and Trav Passier is shaking his head, going, I don't know how to block that. And that is absolutely world class.
Thank you, Lanza, for being in the way. Edgar again outside. Too strong. Thomas Edgar, he's on the money tonight. Absolutely beautiful. 2 spikes, 1 deep, nearly knocking Lanza out.
But again, I want to actually focus on the middle blocking of Travis Passier, the kid from Toowoomba. Whilst not stuff blocks, he's taking enough heat off the ball from the Italians to give them an opportunity. So that's almost a missed skill by some, but I rate it very highly. I rate that quite highly as well. One-on-one situation. The big number 4 for Italy has absolutely buried that ball.
Look, I think that the hardest blocking job on the court of indoor volleyball is that middle blocker. So that's Passier, who's on the front court now, going up for a spike. It goes to Sanderson, but...
Oh, that's a pity. They had a soft transition ball, but the Volleyroos block this time are the ones in the net, and the second referee straight onto that. No one's... You know, don't you, Kerry, if you've touched the net.
And that's what's hard for a middle blocker. You have to be aggressive. You have to get out there really fast to help close up the block. Great touch by Perry. Can it be
Sanderson. Breathtaking.
You need a block here. Or a dig.
They are going to lift the roof off Adelaide Arena if Walker can hit a clean winner. Not to be. Oh, that is ugly.
Oh.
It's got to be Sando, hasn't it? Someone. Oh, the Volleyroos are in the net. That is unbelievable. Paul Sanderson has run through 2 walls to stay in that play for Australia. Look at this defence from Sanderson. One arm, keeps his team alive. Good pickup from the libero in Perry. That was a breathtaking point. The rally went on and on and on. That was just absolute junk ball from the 13. But he kept his team in the point. And then Sando with another pickup. Couldn't get it done. What a shame for the Volleyroos. But some guts being shown.
There we go. That'll do. Great pass. Really tight to the net. But anything through the middle will work right now. We haven't used it as much as the Italians have the middle attack.
But Terry, a line in the sand has just been drawn by the Volleyroos. Sanderson has stood up in defence and said, this is what we stand for. And you wanted some desperation, you wanted some heart and ticker. Paul Sanderson has absolutely shown the Volleyroos, and that might change things up for the Aussies.
Great pressure serve from Cassier.
So no one's touched that. That is a point to the Aussies. And they are going to challenge that. The Italians, Mauro Bruto is saying, I'd like another look at that one. What he's saying is, I believe the blocking team, the Australians, have touched that ball on the way through. Ball clearly landed out. No one's challenging that. Once again, the challenge is on who was the last player to touch the ball before it went out, the Italian or the Australian. So, again, we've got 26 cameras trying to cover every angle. So Mauro Bruto, he's rolling the dice here. At 13 all, an interesting moment. Someone gets the lead on the back of this challenge. I reckon it's going the Volleyroos' way. And
I think Edgar looked a little bit guilty.
A bit sheepish,
a little bit guilty. Maybe it hit his hand. We'll have a look at the after they've made the decision.
Of course, we're having a look at the angle here. I see no touch. Nemo's got his eyes closed.
That's a really tough decision.
They're blowing up. They don't like the angle that's being shown. There's a few different ways they can look at that. So we're asking for another angle. So
I didn't see a touch there, John.
No. Neither did Nemo because he had his eyes closed, which is kind of what you do when you block. Ball
was in. Is that
ball's
in?
in.
That's in.
There you go. So I think this might get overturned then. I don't think the blocker touched it.
Do you think there were 2 challenges there in one? A touch or whether it was in or out?
Yeah, I think he's been quite canny about that, Baruto. He said, no, I wasn't calling it. I wasn't challenging the touch. I was challenging whether the ball was in or out. So there you go.
So if that ball's in, it doesn't matter really who touched it.
Yeah, I think that ball catches the line.
Wow, that was an interesting challenge.
14-12, so there it is. We knew someone would get the benefit.
Baruto played that really well, I think.
Yeah, well done.
Good pass from the Australians.
Oh, pick up from the libero.
Again, the pipe from the backcourt player fools the blockers. The Australian blockers go up with the middle player from Italy because they've been hitting a lot through the middle, and the set is just over the top to the backcourt player, and all he could do was tip that ball into the middle of the open space.
So the pickup from Massimo Colacci, the libero in the dark blue shirt for Italy, was breathtaking. Italians working hard to keep it alive, but they couldn't do it this time. And that's an interesting moment because this is the middle part of the set where Italy have been really efficient at opening up a 5, 6, 7 point gap. But the Volleyroos stayed desperate. Tom Edgar not trying to hit the cover off the ball, hitting high and hard, keeping the Volleyroos in touch at 13-15. He'll go back to serve as we wipe up seemingly acres of Italian sweat on the floor.
Looks to me like the Italians are getting a little bit frustrated, perhaps. A few things not going their way.
Absolutely. Maybe some sweat and some tears there on the backcourt. It's hard to tell.
Aussies need to stay focused here. We're going to 25. There's still a lot of work to be done to win this set.
Tom Edgar waits. The Italians have successfully robbed his momentum. Italian backcourt player's got his foot on the baseline before the serve. I hope he moves. It's not going to be picked up. Players must start on the court. But the spike at the net was good enough, so there you go. We're going to go to a 16-13 technical timeout, the second technical timeout of this second set, with the Italians up by 3.
It's only a small amount of 3, though. It's not a big lead to me, because I really feel that the Australians are on par with the Italians right now. They're doing some really great things. They're serving more consistently. They're passing more consistently. They're perhaps not getting as many blocks as they could do. That could come up, but they're getting caught a little bit, having to protect that middle play. And I think that, to me right now, that's the difference with the blocking.
What's interesting there, in the match last night, Kerry, the Aussies won the second set. That was the set they won, so it took them a little while to get used to the Italian pattern of play last night. They couldn't go with them late in the first set of that match either, but then came back strongly in the second. So, you know, the pattern seems very similar to last night's match, that they won the second set 25-22. So, you know, they're working their way back into this match, and that game last night will give them some confidence. So that'll give them some confidence too. A fairly innocuous float serve floating out by Anzani. So Walker, the left-hander for Australia. Can't get it going. Would have dearly loved one of his repeat serves from yesterday. He hit one that hit the net and just flopped over, and the Italians were aghast at how ugly it was. But it was effective then, 17-14. This is the captain, Travica.
Good pass, Australia.
Nemo. Sent Edgar. Oh, that is absolute butter from Mote.
We don't often see middle blockers using their hands and setting up their big gun hitters, but we saw it right there.
Oh, that had syrup dripping off it. It was so sweet.
Best that Edgar's had all night, maybe.
The adrenaline maybe got a little bit too much from Nemo. And he floats it over. What a shame.
And he pops off for a rest while Luke Perry comes on the court to do the backcourt work.
The Italians return the favour. So there you go, really going for his serve, the 10. He was massive last night, Filippo Lanza, and he's been quite good in this match as well. 16-18, so Greg Sukachev, the second of the two South Australian-based setters in this team. Chevy with a good float serve.
That was a fast outside play. Not sure what the blockers for Australia were doing there. They kind of turned around and looked around at each other, but that's okay. Reset, pass a good ball here.
Aletti, the 24. The Italians 19-16 leaders. Perry to step in. And one of the three Italian blockers, yeah. It was the number 4, puts his hand up and admits. Luca Vittori kind of admitted to his teammates, yeah, I went fishing. You'll see it nearest to camera, just reaches in. Oh, his stomach on the way down, and he knew it too. So, I sort of should have sucked my gut in. Sando from the baseline. So the Aussies getting an opportunity, but not quite taking it. The Italians not quite putting their foot down. So 20 points to 17. We're just kind of wandering along in this second set, so a timeout called.
I think this is a difference that Australia was talking about, or we were talking about with Australia last night, is that when it counted, we were risking our serve. And in this last few points, Australia's missed a few serves, and so have Italy. But we need to take that risk. But it has to be a calculated risk. So you know, it really it is in the ball toss. It is in the decision whether to go full pelt on the ball or just lay back a little bit, depending on how far in that ball toss is.
And a good example was the ace that Tom Edgar hit earlier in the set, where he turned it down the line, as you pointed out, Kerry, but he didn't try and hit the cover off the ball. He went for placement. He went for a little bit of deception. So the lads back out on the court. Second set action. Italy 20 leading the Volleyroos 17.
Wow.
There's Edgar.
What
the
a fast
sledgehammer.
set. What a fast back set. From way away from Edgar, just pushed it, shot it backwards.
And Chevy doing a little bit of sleight of hand. He did a little double pump with his head. Made it look like he was going to set forward, but served Edgar quite nicely. So 18-20. Trav Passier with an opportunity. But the response from the Italians, they got blocked, but they came back hard and found clear floor, and that's what they're capable of. But again, the Aussies making them earn it, making them work a little bit harder. Travica, the setter, he's got athletes running everywhere. How he keeps his spatial awareness to set such a beautiful ball to the antenna, I don't know. Great dig by Perry. And Sanderson, sublime from the back row.
What a save there from Sanderson. He was the only one open to set that ball to.
And look at that dig from Perry. So here's our opportunity, the big man at the baseline. We only trail by 2. Is this where we get it started?
Good choice by Sukachev.
I love Sukachev backing the young fella at outside hitter and Sam Walker on that occasion. It's easy to send it to your release valve at Edgar on that situation, but he sticks with the outside hitter, he sticks with the young kid, comes up with diamonds, and that's a great play. So the coach from Italy, Mauro Baruto, brings his squad in because he sees that lead now narrow to 1. The Volleyroos sneaking back in 20-21 second set.
Santilli a lot more calm right now, isn't he?
We wait the ball front and back. Wait the door, you open wait the door. The ball is away. If the setter moves forward, we wait the ball back.
Talking to his team about what he wants them to focus on, and talking to Ben Hardy, the assistant coach, this morning in the hotel, he said it's really important at these moments in the timeouts that you don't try and give them 8 or 9 bits of information. It's what's the one thing that all of them need to focus on and go out and do. So it's about giving those messages short, sharp, simple. Here is the captain of the Volleyroos, Tom Edgar, this beast from Bundaberg at the baseline.
Just hooking that down a little bit too much. That's okay though, Edgar. He's had a great game so far tonight. Really made up for quite a few of the errors that he made last night, but tonight he's been fantastic. Australia only down by 2. Come on, Aussies. Good pass here. Or an error.
There you go, and just a couple of the little aspects. I think the Italians haven't served as well, and this will bring the crowd to its feet. This magnificent South Australian veteran, Nathan Roberts. And that's the salute he gets from the hometown crowd. 310 matches for his nation.
Great block, Australia.
But the setter is in the front court, and he is absolutely entitled to put a second ball over. And that just shows world-class court craft and awareness and vision. The blockers have thought that he's in the back row. I'm not going to commit. And he dumps it down with the left hand. And that is heartbreaking for the Volleyroos. 23-21. Here he is at the baseline. He's in the back court now, lads. And Edgar, unfortunately, absolutely mishits that. So 24-21, and in the blink of an eye, the number 4 seeded team in the world, Italy, are going out to 3 set points. Substitution. The 18 comes on Giulio Sabi comes on. We're going to have a timeout called by the Aussies.
Sabi was so good last night. He was so powerful. I think the Italian coaches just put him on maybe to scare the Aussies into the last point.
I think he's looking for a really large, solid block. He wants to put this set away at the first opportunity. So again, the Aussies competed. And just a couple of little skill lapses, one on the block, one on the serve. Unfortunately, this time has given the Italians 3 set points. So they've got 3 opportunities for the Volleyroos. They have to win the next 3 rallies in a row. They can't make any errors, and that's a big ask at this level. One really good serve or one great block, and it is this canny setter, Travica, to serve on set point. They'll get a free ball to convert. And they do. So the second set is in the bag. Italy take a 2-sets-to-love lead in this match with a 25-21 scoreboard. And again, some really good signs from the Volleyroos, but the Italians, just when their nation needed them, found a way.
And the game is not yet over by any means.
So getting ready to get underway for the start of the third set, I should say.
That's okay, John. You also think it's just the start of a new match.
That's it.
That's what these guys need to do.
You came here having to win 3 sets. You still have to win 3 sets. No problem. So the Italians will get us underway to start the third set. For the Aussies, this is a must-win set, or the Italians will win the match if they win this set. And there you go, something different straight away from Sukachev, setting Sam Walker from the back row. We haven't seen him across 2 nights hit a back row attack. And the Italians probably not expecting that. They were zoning in on Passier. They were looking at Sanderson outside and Sam Walker through the middle. So that's a nice little variety set to start the third set from the Aussies.
And that's what it's about when you've got a good blocking team. You need to mix it up a bit, and Sukachev making some great choices. Starting off in the beginning of this game, he had a bit of a rest. He's back on again now.
See Lanza, the 10 there, coming out and starting outside hitting as he's finished the second set really strong. Speaking of strong, I give you Tom Edgar, the captain.
It almost looks like he's doing it in slow motion, but it's such a hard ball. I mean, even if one of the Italians was there in defence, I think it would have knocked him down. Watch this ball go down the line. Boom! Lanza just watched it go past.
Oh, in is the call from Sanderson's jump serve. The Italians blow up straight away, so that will absolutely be reviewed. Score will remain at 3-1 whilst the review is underway. But of course, if the review is successful, or the challenge for the Italians, the score will revert to 2-all. So we show the score in favour based on the call. Ball is out by a fair margin on my viewing of that, so that's a great challenge. I suspect it will be overturned and it'll be 2-all. So never mind. That's why the technology is there. So a good challenge by the Italians.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
Scramble play from Australia. Easy chance for the Italians. And they take it. One blocker there. Not able to defend that, so.
Yeah, isolated in a one-on-one situation, even Edgar is going to struggle to shut down an outside hitter of that quality. So Lanza again from the service line, strong jump server. This time takes all the heat off the ball. Passier can't quite execute. Better desperation in defence. More Aussies going for the ball, so that's a positive sign. But sadly, the control not quite there.
The Italians have such nice fine touch on the ball. Lanza with his short topspin serve and then a little tip. Such an experienced squad. And comes up with a big hit. off the jump serve. Nicely hit off the block by Edgar. Trademark turns that body. He looks like he's going across court, but he turns his shoulder and his body and just belts it down the line off the side of the block, inside out.
And manages to get out of the way this time too. You don't want that ball coming back off you. That's always embarrassing. Trav Passier trailing 3-4. Queensland is serving. And again, the setting of
beautiful set.
Dragon Travica, the 13, has just been a delight to watch. It has to be said. You know, he's absolutely fed this offense from Italy so well.
He gets very excited and very animated afterwards as well. I love that about the Italians. They're so passionate. They love their game of volleyball. Except when they make mistakes like that.
Well, that's all right. We'll let him off on this occasion. So the Australians starting 7 for the third set, the same as they finished. They've got Greg Sukachev setting instead of Harry Peacock for the start of this third set. This is Thomas Edgar serving. The Italians, well, they're blowing up as a team. They've been pretty good, actually. I must say that every time they've challenged for a reason, and they were challenged this one again. What I think they're asking is, did it touch the blocker on the way through? I didn't quite see why they asked. There are two things that could have gone wrong. Was it touched by the blocker, and did it land in? And we saw the coach from Italy play this game in the last set, and he played it well, so he's going to wait patiently to see what the review brings. The third referee again looking at the footage. We don't show you the footage on the broadcast until the decision's been made. So the third official and the TMO poring over a number of screens. They're looking for a touch off the hands, and there it is, the little finger. Wow, how they have picked that up is beyond me.
Incredible.
That is a stunning challenge by the Italians, and the technology is absolutely working. So I don't think the Australians can complain about that call.
Looks like that finger was almost bent back out of shape, but
the forensic evidence was strong. Sanderson getting out of the way. I thought the sound was almost like it brushed him on the way through, but no one else shares my opinion, so we'll take that one 5-6. This is Sam Walker to serve. And serve he does.
It's almost like he doesn't strike the ball cleanly. It's a little bit off pace, maybe a little bit off the side of his hands. I don't know, but it really is a difficult ball to pass. He troubled the Italians last night. He's doing it again now. Better pass this time. Nice quick ball again through the middle.
And again, trademark for Italy from what we've seen while they've been here in Australia. If they make an error, they lose their shape. Their ability to respond is really good. You don't see the same error twice in a row, and that's a credit to them. 7-6. Again, neck and neck at the early part of the set, as we've seen all day.
Great pass, Australia.
Nemo!
Sets up Nemo Motze with a beautiful quick play.
Oh, and that's a great play between Sukachev and Mote, because he ran to a great point on the net. The pass from Walker was okay. The set was outstanding, and Nemo has absolutely punished it. And that is something to see when it all flows. 7-all.
World class.
And Australia will go to the technical timeout, as we've seen in the first two sets, with an 8-7 lead. So that first part, Kerry, of the first three sets have been neck and neck for the Aussies.
Identical to each set. We're always starting this game off, or the set off, at 8-7. So this is where Santilli has to really work out what is it that's getting Australia losing a few of those points. I mean, I'm not sure it's the Australians. I think it's actually the Italians just being a bit more patient.
You see Jacob Geimer there in the huddle. There is a substitution made just before that serve. We should have pointed that out. Jacob Geimer, the number 2, has come on in the front court, so he's taken the place of Travis Passier. The first time we've seen Jacob today in this match, but he played a big role last night. So 8-7. Again, we play the best of 5 sets. You win 3 sets, you win the match. And the Australians trailing in the set score 0-2, so they must win this 3rd set to keep the match alive.
That was set up with a great serve from Motte. Straight down the line. It took out one of the Italian spikers, I believe. There, took out number 12 almost from allowing him to come and do that pipe through the middle. So that's obviously a strategy. He's doing it again. So Italy only have 2 spikers, but this time Lanza's does a great. He does a great job of hitting that ball off the line. He did off the hands. He has made a couple of mistakes in the last 5 minutes, so that's allowed Australia to get that little lead.
19 for Italy is Anzani, Simone Anzani, setting up for his float serve, not unlike Nemo's style of serve.
Cover Australia. He went for it, but it's out.
They're begging for a challenge, and again, Mauro Brutto quick to challenge, and his judgment I can't fault. They're going to call for a touch off the block.
No hand.
Again, I
think Geimer was flying over to the left.
Yeah, his judgment's been pretty good. I reckon this is the most parlous of his challenges so far tonight. Look at him, he's just eyeballing the third referee. I know what I saw. And it has to be the coach. It can't be one of the athletes to challenge. They leave it to the coach.
I think that's a great idea because the athletes have got to stay focused. They can't be thinking about that, but it goes to Australia. Absolutely no touch on that. Not a great angle, that one, but I'm sure they looked at the other angle. They
absolutely would have. Santilli letting his colleague from Italy know that he saw it as well. So 10-8, the Aussies a tiny lead. And an opportunity. And a net touch. So the worm has turned a little bit. The Aussies on the back of some skill errors from the Italians, it must be said, but you don't make skill errors, Kerry, unless the opportunity is putting pressure on you, surely. Yeah, that's a massive net touch. It's hard to deny. Chevy again to Edgar, and Edgar buries it.
No one home.
And you know, again, an opportunity on the back of a skill error from the Italians. The back row attack, he went way too sharp. It was unblocked, but it's hit the tape and took enough pace off the ball. Perry does a good job. Edgar does a better one.
Great set from Sukachev there too.
And Adelaide finds its voice. 12-8. Chevy serving up a storm here in Adelaide. The South Australian with the ball. Ball kept alive by the Volleyroos. The Italian response clinical as ever.
Great setting from the Italians there. Both times the setter, you could see he had a quick look to see whether his attackers and the Australian blockers and defenders were in position. He saw that the blockers were quite wide and he went through the middle with his set.
Interesting, Sanderson as the outside hitter committed on the quick attack. Couldn't block it. Ball kept alive. Perry will have to set. Oh, and Edgar is absolutely monstered. We talked about not seeing a roof block all night. You just saw one there.
Yeah, the set was just too low and too inside for Edgar to do much with it. I think he tried to wipe it off the block.
Yeah, and it won't look pretty on replay. It's always going to go to him, and the block was absolutely huge, so we've taken it away. A timeout called. Roberto Santilli, the Australian coach, with the Italian name, seeing a little subtle shift in momentum, and quite wisely saying, let's take a break. We've still got a lead. Important middle section of the set
Yeah. Our coach used to always say to us, Steve Anderson, one of the best beach coaches in the world, he would say to Natalie and I, push at the beginning, hold them in the middle, and then push at the end. And that's pretty much what Italy have been doing to Australia last night and tonight. And it looks like in this set, Australia's doing that to Italy. So let's just hold Italy now, boys. Let's hold on to this. Be patient. Don't do anything too drastic, too crazy. Be patient, we can push again at the end.
This is Gianelli, the 6. Serving a brick. There you go, great timeout. You give that one to the coach. Absolutely, there's a stat there for Santilli, the coach, calling that timeout. The jump server has missed his rhythm and has absolutely served a mile out. But again, the setting hands of Travica choosing the right option. And you see, as a setter, he jump sets a lot of balls. You don't see Sukachev jump set as much. And by jump setting, it means he can set the ball later and higher. And the block has to commit a bit earlier. So Sukachev jump sets.
Nice ball, Tom Edgar. Really doing a great job tonight. I'm so proud of him after last night's efforts. He was really under pressure last night, but tonight he's just doing his job. He's leading the team well. He's positive. He's smiling. Good to see.
Jacob Geimer. What a pity. The transition was good, but the Aussies fishing in the net.
And this is where they need to stay patient. Doesn't matter. It was a quick error. The Italians could have hit that one for a winner. It doesn't matter. They just need to start out again now.
Aletti for Italy.
Fernando with a great pass. Nice block on Monty then. I think the set was just a little low. He couldn't get over the top of the blockers.
Just looked a little cramped on the quick attack. He couldn't really put any pressure on the ball. And the Italians read it beautifully. 2 blockers went with him. That shows some experience. Walker, the outside hitter, doing a nice job.
He's really found his groove tonight, hasn't he, Sam Walker? Every time he's touched the ball, more and more, his contact. Look at great pass there. Gets outside and makes no mistakes.
And splits the block, the seam of the Italian block not coming together. And that's kind of a bit of a payback for the work that Motte is doing as the middle blocker. They've had to stay a little bit longer on Nehemiah, and that's given Sam Walker the opportunity to find the seam. Here's Edgar.
Very close to a foot fault there as well for Tom Edgar. He's having a bit of trouble when he gets that ball too far in the court. I know I've said it a couple of times, but it's so important with the jump serve. Too far inside, he's just got to take a bit of pace off.
Oh, good vision from Luke Perry in volleyball. A serve that touches the net is still a live ball. If that ball goes in, you've got to make a play on it. Perry read it pretty well. So the technical timeout for the first time today, the Volleyroos have the lead.
That's right.
Kerry, you talked about just holding in the middle part of that set. We led at the last technical timeout 8-7. We lead 16-14 through the middle part of the set. Now's the big push to the finish line, at least in this set.
I'm going to have to say here, John, actually, I would like to see them hold a little bit more because they've still got to get to 25. So around the 20 mark, that's where I want to see them risk a bit more. Hold on to 2 points. It's not a problem. 2 points ahead and then push, because if they can hold it to 20, Italy's going to be feeling the pressure. And they're going to try and do something, and perhaps a few errors will come out. So this is where the real psychology of the game comes in. And when you're on the court, you can see it when you're standing back here, but when you're on the court, it's often difficult to feel that. And that's where the coach and the other players and the captain need to come together and keep reminding their players to stay patient. Beautiful serve.
I think that's, oh, gee. So it's been called as touch. It actually missed the court, but the touch was picked up pretty early, to be fair. A lot of talk about how young this Italian squad is and how, you know, they've blooded these new players. Average age of the Italian
squad is actually older than the Volleyroos. The average Volleyroos age is 23 in this squad, so plenty to look forward to for the future. Sanderson, you magnificent beast.
What a punishing spike that was, and again it was set up with a great pass from Luke Perry. Sukachev had all the options. Peacock had all the options, and Sanderson just buried that.
Feast your eyes on that. Wonderful skill. Here's Nehemiah Monte. Oh, what a shame. Walker's defense was immense, but the Italian block, they knew where the release ball was going. They zoned in, and their blocking has gone up a notch in this third set, even though they don't lead. That's an area that they've been better at. There's another kill block for the Italians. So a substitution for Italy.
Really good timing on the blocking from Italy too on that ball, because Edgar, as we know, is back court. So as a blocker, you have to be a little bit later for that big hit.
Oleg Antonov comes on for his first foray. He was immense on the jump serve last night. Oh, and Jacob Geimer is immense in return. They are raising the roof here. That is a beautiful dig set spike. Big serve. Sando just absolutely puts it on a plate for Harry Peacock to deliver to Jacob Geimer, who does his job well. So the Volleyroos staying strong and keeping this 2-point lead.
Unfortunate for Peacock, having come on just recently and doing a great job in the setting department. Just dropping his arm a little bit on that serve, but that's okay. You've got to stay patient here. Another good pass, another good set. Or a service ace from Italy.
And
wow.
There you go, and that's what Italy are capable of. They've stayed with Australia and they've come out and done something spectacular. The jump serve from Simone Gianelli. This lad plays for the Trentino Volley Club and can serve a volleyball. 18-all now. And there you go, momentum has shifted. So does Santilli call a timeout? Does he wait a little bit longer? He's seen a 2-point lead turn into a 1-point deficit, so that's a 5-point swing. And so sure enough, the timeout is called. So a crucial time in this match, but we're absolutely still in it.
Absolutely. Look, Australia can't be defeated at this point after having, lost the last couple of points. Italy has just stepped up. That's what they do. That's what the world-class teams do, the best players in the world. It doesn't matter to them that they're a few points behind. They'll still risk. They have the confidence. Australia needs to just do what they do. Talking a few tactics there. Santilli giving his boys a bit of confidence, a bit of encouragement. There's no yelling or getting them to fire up. Just the confidence is what they need now, so they can still hold their shoulders back.
And the crowd is looking really tense. There's a sense that this set could go any way, and we are on a tightrope, trailing 2-0. Absolutely need to find a way to win this set. Oh, and that is absolutely insane middle blocking. But a net touch called. Or was it 4 hits as the indication?
Oh.
No, he's saying that number 4 touched the net. Sorry, he's indicating that number 4, Vittori, was touching that. He was holding up 4 fingers, which I thought was an odd time to call 4 hits, especially for the second ref. This is a monster block. But what they're saying is the outside blocker, the number 4, was in the net. So the Italians, of course, are going to challenge that. They had a monster block and the point was theirs. So why not? Again, the scoreboard will be reset depending on the result.
Is he smiling because he knows there was a net touch, or that he's just wasting a little bit of time perhaps?
All of the above, but no, the challenge is unsuccessful. And the Volleyroos, there is Vittori is absolutely in the net. So that is a wasted challenge, but you've got to say, why not challenge at this point? So 19-all is the correct score. The Volleyroos lock it up again. And Sando, who better from the baseline to try and give Australia the lead?
What can you say?
What a pity.
That's unfortunate.
He's been great tonight, though,
He's been
Sando.
very consistent.
And it's about getting licence from the baseline that Santilli has given these guys to really go for their serve. But here he is, the 10 for Italy himself, immense from the baseline. So I'll give everyone the kiss of death while I'm at it. Well, you're welcome. 20 all.
Two of the most consistent service from either side, just putting the ball into the net at a very crucial time of this set. And here's Geimer. Good positional serve.
But a good response. And it was that man that got called for the net touch, Luca Vittori. 21-20. So again, folks, 25 is what we're going for. If by some fact we get to 24 all, then 25 is no longer enough. You have to win by a 2-point margin. That's a little way away. The 24 for Italy. Alexi's serving. Edgar, beast mode.
Yep, turns that one through the block, almost off the top and through the middle.
And he looks a bit more composed, Kerry. At the sharp end of this set, our captain looks like he's emotionally under control, physically under control. It looks like he knows what the job is that Australia need from him, and he looks like he's up for it.
It's a good serve. He took a bit of pace off.
And here's an opportunity to absolutely dominate. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain of Australia, Thomas Edgar. And look at his body language, Kerry. He's not over the top. He's a man that knows that the job is not done.
He's got his poker face on right now.
Absolutely.
He's so focused. He's not too flustered. He's not getting too excited. He's just doing the job.
And he talked last night post-match, had a good yarn with him about how to be captain of this team. Does he get out there and be really expressive, or does he lead with his actions? Australian huddle. Roberto Santilli really calm, really businesslike.
Yeah, I really like Edgar's ease of just his play right now, but Walker as well. They're all looking fantastic. Sanderson's solid. Perry's digging balls. Mottes doing his job through the middle. Both setters, Sukachev and Peacock, have done a great job tonight for Australia. Peacock on at the moment.
An ace would be great. Or a foot fault, unfortunately. You talked about that, Kerry. He had been flirting with that baseline on some previous serves, and that, we could see that clearly. That the serving athlete not allowed to touch the baseline during their service action. And Santilli's going to have a go, but it was fairly clear. And what he's saying is in Italian, so I'm not exactly sure, but I suspect it's heartfelt. You'll see it on the replay.
Yeah. We can't see it from there, but where we're sitting...
Either way, the ball's gone out.
Yeah,
so
exactly. But you could actually say as an Australian team, if that wasn't a foot fault, the Italians would have played that ball. But they stopped playing because the linesman called it.
So this is interesting because there's his foot. Whoa! And what Santilli, the point that he's making is the linesman's blowing up. And so we're going to see 2 thumbs up for volleyball in Australia. What happened there, folks, is Santilli has said that the linesman waving his flag has put Edgar off the service action. The foot has almost touched the baseline, but it hasn't touched the baseline. So this is a replay, folks. No point has been awarded for that last play. Is that the get-out-of-jail-free card that Australia need? Maybe not.
Yeah, he had to go for that. He really did. Santilli calm. The Italians calm.
22 all. This is going to get really tense.
pressure is something that we haven't seen the Italians put under a lot of this weekend, but 23-22 and a chance for the Volleyroos to get up off the canvas. This is a really crucial point of this match. And the Italians deal with it really well through the 19. And Zani, the middle blocker. So after this point, either Italy will have match point or the Volleyroos will have set point. At the back end of this point, someone will be in control. A big moment. Sanderson, you are a beautiful athlete. What a time to set this Victorian beast of a man. He brings up a set point with a wonderful setting option, Harry Peacock. I salute you. And it will be Mote on a set point serve.
Great serve, Italy in trouble.
And the Volleyroos have found a way to win the third set when they were dead and gone in this match. If that skill starts coming to the fore...
Wow. Just wow.
What does that mean? So
that means Australia's going to be up there with the best teams in the world, as this Italian team is. As you keep saying, number 4 in the world. They have a couple of players they haven't got with them on this tour that they're resting, but still they're such an experienced squad. Italy love their volleyball. They have a large amount of great players to choose from to fill their national squads, but you know, the Australians are doing so well tonight, and with the new coach, Roberto Santilli, it looks very exciting, especially going into Rio for next year.
All right, we are ready to get underway. Sam Walker will start it up for the fourth set. Italy versus Australia. This is the World League of Volleyball. Match number 2 in this pool. Pool A in the Intercontinental round. Of course, this pool also featuring the teams from Brazil, world number 1, and of course Serbia, who are in the top 10 as well, and they played overnight, Brazil winning that match in 5.
Interesting side serve, or we might call a bit of a helicopter.
Yeah, I don't think you'll enjoy seeing a replay of that. That was a fairly monster miss hit from the Italian, but there you go.
Taking out the spiker again. The spiker does go. Can't get a good enough attack on it. Easy put away for Edgar.
And a little aspect I'd like to focus on, Kerry, that I noticed a lot in the last set, and we've gone with it, is the defence of Sam Walker. He's actually quite a big lad, but he's made some really key defensive pickups in the last half hour and has given his team the opportunity to get some transition play going, so shouldn't lose sight of the work he's doing in the backcourt as well as at the net.
Yeah, when you say he's a big lad, he's actually 2'08".
Yeah,
he's one of the tallest guys out there, and you know, you might not see that because they're all tall, but to get around and play defence and be a passer, Sam Walker's doing a fantastic job tonight. Number 13, middle back right now. Again, good pass. And then a hit. Oh, just out.
What a shame. The Italians, a little change in their roster. They've started with a slightly different lineup. I'll give you some of those details in a moment. They're serving 3-2. He's gone back to Walker from the back row to redeem himself. Tough for Sanderson. He'll put a free ball into play. Edgar. Oh, gets it done. They look like street fighters now, the Aussies. It's not pretty, but they're finding a way to keep the ball flying and getting an opportunity. Here's Sanderson working hard. His first touch is a block. He's allowed to hit it twice in a row if he's blocking on that first touch. So the only time in the game where the athlete's allowed to touch it twice in a row is if the first is a block. Harry Peacock gets us underway. There's Walker again in position 6. Crucial time. And Adelaide tell you what they think.
Australians to me right now just look so much more confident. There's no head shaking, there's no kind of looking down. Even after they make a bit of an error or they get blocked, they're right back at them.
But the Italians respond well, as they've done pretty much all weekend, it must be said. Change for the Aussies. Trav Passier has made way for Jacob Geimer in the middle blocking position. The change to the lineup from the last set, but otherwise unchanged for the Volley Rouge. Sanderson to Edgar, and again the Italians letting the Aussies know too. That was interesting. They absolutely let the Aussies know that ball was down. I think it's going to be pretty obvious from the replay, the 3 blocks of Italy. I think what they're indicating was the ball was down before that tiny net touch, and that is correct. Opportunity for Sanderson again. Blocked twice in a row. Oh, and bad luck, Geimer just overreaching. Gosh, that would have been a great play.
I think he crowded Peacock there on their quick attack. It was just a little bit too close to him, perhaps.
Yeah, I'd like to see faster footwork from Geimer on that occasion. He maybe could have got back in a position a little bit earlier to make a better attack. Still easy from here. 6-4 Italy.
Nice play, Sanderson off the hand. When the ball's tight like that and a player can't get a full swing on the spike, it's a really great shot to just hit the ball or dump the ball off the blocker's hand like that and out of play. So intelligent play. It was interesting the last few points we've seen Edgar hitting from the left side, not his favourite side in this rotation. After Sanderson serves, we'll see Edgar out on the right side of the court.
Go Jacob Geimer, works hard.
Edgar's out there but can't hit that one.
Oh, and the off-speed working. I mean, that's a complete mishit for Italy. But, you know, luck's a fortune, and they get the break on that occasion. So it's neck and neck, 7-5. We've seen the first 3 sets, Australia with the slightest lead as we've gone to the first technical timeout. I don't think they'll get that opportunity in this set.
That's a great set. Nicely done, Sando from the back. Beautiful pass from Perry, set that ball up.
6-7 the score.
It's not often that play doesn't work for either team, where you've got the 3 front court players running into spike and the back court player just having a little pipe through the middle.
Good pressure on the serve. Ooh. I'm going to be proved wrong again, perhaps 7-all now. The Aussies have taken those 2 points back. The first 3 sets, Aussies have gone to the first technical timeout with an 8-7 lead. A rare hitting error down the line. Good serving. Oh, there you go.
And we got a blocking set off the board.
The kiss of death again. I've absolutely monstered that score. And Australia, through the Volley Rouge, absolutely go to the technical timeout with the lead with 3 points in a row. They went from 5-7 down to an 8-7 lead. Edgar blocking that ball back into the spiking player, the 12, Luigi Randazzo. So there you go, consistency. Here is the coach.
Well, Edgar at 2 metres 12, he didn't even really jump for that one. He just kept his hands up. Santilli really giving some information there to Harrison Peacock.
And it's interesting, the Aussies have split into 2 camps. Ben Hardy, the assistant coach, has got the entire squad, and it's just the setter and local lad in Harry Peacock and Roberto Santilli just having a one-on-one conversation. So that's interesting.
The setter is the playmaker for both teams. He's the guy that puts the ball in the hands of the winning spiker, we hope. So he obviously uses Australia's big man Thomas Edgar a lot. But tonight we're seeing some really great backup. Some hitting through the middle by Motte, Geimer, and Sanderson on the outside as well. Oh,
That ball just dumped down the front of the block by Randazzo. He'd been schooled on the last one, so he a bit of swagger as he goes back to the baseline on the back of that. It's not going to look pretty for the middle blocker. Poor old Nemo was really committed. So Italy hit back 8-all. Oh, Nemo catches the defensive player, and the Italians request a review, so we will review. Unsure if they're claiming the ball was out or whether it was touched by the defensive player. I believe the call was that it hit the defensive player on the way through, but we'll check the challenge. Again, teams can keep challenging until they waste two. That ball looks into me. Yeah, that's...
The ball flat,
doesn't it? It's really interesting. So Nemo, superstar through the middle. This lad from New South Wales, such a likeable kid, such a beautiful extended family. The Mottes are a breath of fresh air in Australian volleyball. A salute to all of them. I hope they're enjoying Nemo's work today.
It goes to show how hard these guys are hitting the ball too. That was kind of an off-speed shot. It wasn't he didn't get a full swing on it, but the ball was almost flattened in half, and that ball is quite tight. Like you couldn't really put it in your hands and press it that flat.
9-all, Italy serving, neck and neck.
Chance for Australia here.
They're lining up. And
through the middle.
Through the middle. Great opportunity. Luke Perry doing a really nice job on that free ball. We call it a free ball when it comes over without any pressure on it like that. That free ball situation, you want your libero, your defensive specialist to take this ball on his hands. Everyone else gets the line up in the queue for a spike. Nicely played, Australia. Walker. Serve. Ball in and deep. So again, the block from Australia, we saw a roof block from Edgar, but we haven't seen massive blocking pressure by the Aussies. But they're absolutely in this match at 10-all, so if they could just get the block working, could be all the difference. Oh, because the Italians have got theirs working.
Just like that.
Wow, Luca Vittori, all 200 centimetres of him.
To get that block working, they really need to put some pressure on the Italians' serve reception, as the Italians are doing on ours right now.
They take the lead 11-10. Edgar to set the outside player.
He's got 3 blockers to get past.
Harry Peacock, as a front court setter, well entitled to have a spike. Edgar, the off speed, does well. Italy stay alive. Australia got to be patient. Here's a chance. Transition. Harry Peacock again, not getting great service. Oh, Italy have absolutely picked Australia's pockets there. 3 really innocuous balls came over the net for the Volleyroos, and they kept making Harry Peacock's life really hard.
He worked so hard. He was up and down, pushing again. And that was a fantastic set to Edgar. He just missed that. That's his favourite hit down that line. Unfortunate for Australia.
12-10 now. Italy open up a little lead in the mid part of this set. Nice, fast hands. And really, that's a great play on the back of good serve reception, because it commits the middle blocker. It's a fast set to the antenna, and Paul Sanderson only really has to take on one serious blocker. The 24 for Italy, the middle blocker, really not forming a solid block, so we need more of that.
Unfortunate for Australia there. Motte was there, just couldn't get his hands around it quick enough. His reflexes weren't there.
Again, should point out at 2-1, Italy just need to win this set to win the match. So for the Aussies, still got to try and pull it out of the fire. This set's big for them. Oh,
That's better, Tommy boy. That ball's hit the ground hard, but it's come down the front of the Italian block and may have looked at home like it came down the front of the Australian court, but no, it was between the Italian blockers and their part of the floor. It's going to look quite stunning.
It's unbelievable how that ball can hit the ground before the spikers and blockers land.
Here's an opportunity. Walker responds well.
Nice set. Looking for the hands. Does he get it? Yes, he does.
And to his credit, the 24, Aletti kind of put his hand up and said, yeah, I got a piece of that. And I don't mind that at this middle part of the set if they fess up.
I do.
If they're Italian.
Bit of trouble there. Two blockers, and we got one! Geimer this time!
And haven't we been waiting all night, Terry, for the block of Australia to fire up, and it's Jacob Geimer. This is going to look good. He works hard. His footwork is excellent on this occasion. They've got to get out to the other blocker, turn and then jump. You don't want to be out of control, or else you'll bump your colleague into the net, or you'll be wiped off. Geimer working really hard at the technical aspects there and reaping the reward. Oh, would have been nice to go 2 from 2.
It's such a difficult thing to do for a middle blocker to make that move to the outside, stay out of the net. It's a move that they practice at training over and over and over and over again without the ball.
It's quite dull.
It's dull, but it's like a dance with no music.
Now lifted ball will be caught. No, hand over. So at the moment, Harry Peacock, the setter for the Volleyroos, is in the backcourt, and that means he's not allowed to play the ball over the net. You'll see his hand really reach out, and he actually retrieves it from the Italian side of the court. Only just, but the call was spot on. So he's not allowed to do that as a backcourt player. So 15-14, Italy back in the lead. This is going to get really tense, I think. One-on-one. Sando. Oh, it was a shame. Good setting from Peacock. Opened the door, but he couldn't convert. So the technical timeout, Italy kind of re-establish a bit of their control of the match. They take a 16-14 lead.
Yeah, the Aussies, to me, they're not looking like they can believe, or they believe they can win this game. It's not that kind of the same desperation that we saw in the set before.
Absolutely, and the Aussies at this point of the last set had the lead and were able to maintain that buffer. It got tense. Italy hit back deep in the third set. Australia kicked on again. So for the Aussies, as you talked about, just got to stay there or thereabouts. They've had some good runs. The Italians are on a good run. Will the momentum change? You've just got to stick with them. You can't let this gap now grow any bigger than 2 or 3 points, because they'll run out of time. You know, that 2-1 set scoreline will start playing on them.
We've been very good at fighting back. There's absolutely no doubt that Australians are great fighters. We'll dig ourselves out of a ditch and we'll get back up there, but we can't get into that ditch. We can't let these points get in any further than the 2-point deficit.
Absolutely. So we're underway again, 16-14.
Good pass, Perry.
And the Italians just trying to roll that ball down the line. The Aussies, I think, got a tiny bit lucky then. They didn't really mount a very effective attack of the Italians, but the off-speed roll shot down the line, kind of a bit wasteful from the Italians. So does that open the door for Sanderson and his serve?
Oh, fantastic spike from Italy there.
That's unstoppable. Luigi Randazzo, 198 centimetres. Only his 18th appearance for Italy, so not a wealth of experience at the senior level for this young man, but he handled that really, really well. 17-15. Sabi for Italy. Lancer with the pickup. Oh, 4 hits. Wow.
That's a big swing from Edgar. That would have hurt.
Oh yeah, they hurt. But interesting, Giulio Sabi really letting an opportunity slip by there. So for Australia, they're being invited back into this match. Can they take the invitation? Oh, well, there you go.
We haven't seen that before in the last game last night or tonight. It's the first time the setter's done the quick set to the middle of the court. He's allowed to do that. A side set takes everybody by surprise.
Absolutely. That's Simone Gianelli. He's given his captain a spell in this set. He's got his second setter on in Gianelli, and that's they zoned out on him. Good pick from the libero. Oh, that's heartbreaking. The Volleyroos worked so hard to stay in the point, and then a skill error with the net touch. Such a shame. The libero for Italy has been immense. Colacci, 19-16, that's the biggest lead they've had for a little while. Volleyroos need to shut it down.
You know, the liberos, they don't get noticed very often, do they, John? They're the guys there. There's Luke Perry in the white shirt. On the Italian side, the dark blue shirt. They do so much work in the back, but they're not the stars of the team. The stars are often the big spikers, but, you know, in my mind, those guys almost do more. Beautiful pass there you see from the libero for Italy.
Lifted ball, or no, 2 hits. No, he's saying 2 hits.
No
there you go.
On the block? Oh,
hit his body twice off the block. So the ball was blocked into his chest. You've hit it once, then he hit it with his arm. You've hit it twice. So that's an example where you can't hit the ball twice. 1, 2. I think that's an okay call. So 18-19 with our captain Thomas Edgar at the service line. This was the point of the 4th set where a calm, collected Tom Edgar found a way to get Australia the win in that set. Can he do it again in the 4th? Oh! Pick up from Sanderson in 6. Oh, well, that's really
unfortunate.
Tough call. And Santilli doesn't concur with that. Can't challenge that though. That is a setting call, a double hit call on the setter. What a time to call it. It's unprecedented. Substitution, the 16 comes on. Big Oleg Antonov, who was one of the heavy hitters from last night. And here comes, it was nearly card time for he reached for the yellow card.
I can't believe it either, John.
2018, that's a momentum shift for the Italians.
I don't understand.
Justice, that's out. Come on, give it to the Aussies.
We're going to challenge anyway, and why not? So this will either make it 19-20 Australia or 21-18 for Italy, depending on this one. So we're going to check, challenged by, of course, the Italian coach, and it's instantly called in. Yeah, it was in by a fair degree. Really hard to argue with that one. So it's now getting really tense in the Adelaide Arena. 21-18 the score now. All right, Australia need to regroup.
Australia need to breathe out.
And Zani comes back on. Sam Walker will go back and serve. 2 points adrift. But of course the Italians only 4 points away from maybe winning the match. So it's a really tense time for this young Volleyroos squad. What a pity.
2-10 for Sam Walker.
What a pity.
Just dragging that ball into the net. The last 2 serves from both players, either team. Making errors, so the pressure is certainly on.
Gianelli to serve the second setter for Italy, playing the 4th set. Oh, it was a big ask for Tom Edgar, that set. Asked a lot of questions of him, was well out of his reach. He couldn't really snap it down. And 23-19, this could get ugly very quickly for the Volleyroos. Someone needs to step up. Challenge has been made by the Australian coach Roberto Santilli. I think it is
hoping for a net touch,
a little bit optimistic. He might as well roll the dice.
I'd be hoping for a net touch because the ball was nowhere near the blocker's hands.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But he might as well have a crack.
And at this point, I think it's all about wasting time, like the end of a basketball match.
Absolutely. And does he at least change the momentum or... Oh, Santilli, you are an absolute god.
Net touch. He
that is
got
an
it.
unbelievable challenge by the Aussie Roberto. Look at him, you magnificent human. You have absolutely...
Do you think that was a guess?
I have no idea. 2022, I absolutely humbly bow to Roberto Santilli and Nemo at 2022 to keep the Volleyroos alive.
Good serve.
And another net touch will be called. And there are strange things happening in the Adelaide Arena. 21-22 on the back of 2 net touches to Italy. They do not challenge. Oh yeah, he's had a big grab at the net. It was the 10. He knows it too. Spanks himself on the leg. So the Australians... Are they only 4 points away from somewhere that they've never been before, which is a 5th set against Italy? They've done it once before only at the London Olympics. We're just confirming.
I think we're checking the rotation order there. I saw Santilli 2 points ago make that rotation signal to his team, so I'm not sure whether
he's just saying
something's out of kilter.
I'd hate Australia to lose the point and the serve on a technical error. All is well.
All is well. That's a good sign for Australia.
Nemo, our wonderful middle blocker, 21-22 with his magnificent float serve. Can he pull off something special?
Was that in? Was it out? Did it hit the antenna?
So waiting on the call. The ball was absolutely blocked and it's gone back into the Italian player. This is going to look great. Sando has created a 22-all situation. Well, Australia, Kerry, they were on the ropes. They were done and dusted at 22-19. 23-19 until Roberto Santilli has pulled out his magic wand. And all of a sudden at 22-22, this match is absolutely up for grabs.
It certainly is, and Australia is going to grab it. We're going to say that right now. Come on, John, we can do it. Let's get these boys over the line. Certainly the crowd is pumped. Music's blaring. Everyone's having an amazing time here. Pop the rings, number 3.
Yeah, that's our boy Nathan Roberts. They want to see him out there. So, ladies and gentlemen, Italy lead 2-1, but the 4th set of 22-all is now absolutely anybody's for the taking. Who wants it the most? A reasonable response from Giulio Savi, the 18. One-on-one situation. He's good enough to crush that, and rightly so. So the 10, this monster, Filippo Lanza, who is such a jump-serving weapon, if he gets hot, it could be over quickly. They lead by 1. Walker passes well. But Edgar sprays it, and Italy have match point. 24-22, a challenge anyway. Why not? The Australian coach, Roberto Santilli, he couldn't pull that magic trick twice though, could he?
What a fantastic serve. We've got to give credit to Lanza then to just belt that ball on the serve.
So Santilli, he did it the last time. I don't think he could play this card twice. I doubt there will be a net touch, and it will be Italy serving for the match. But we're going to check it anyway.
So hard to keep the momentum with these challenges just flowing at the end of this game. But, you know, it's really changed the game of indoor volleyball. There's no time, so does it look like Italy's going to get this ball?
I can't see any evidence, I'm afraid.
Nothing there, so Italy get that point.
So Santilli will call a timeout. His last card that he's got to play is to call a timeout. So the Italian squad leading this match 2-1 and leading the fourth set at 24-22. Just need to win this rally to win the match. Of course, for the Volleyroos, if they can find a way to somehow get it back to 24 all, they must win the next two rallies. Then we keep playing till one team has a 2-point margin. But the number 10, who's been rock solid for 2 matches, Filippo Lanza, has got a match point ball in his hand, and something tells me he's going to go for absolutely everything on this serve for the match. Sanderson has got something to say about that. Good serve reception, young Walker. But it is match point number 2. So for the hero of Adelaide, Harry Peacock, he's got to get this ball into play. Can they pull off a miracle block? Match point number 2, Italy.
Trouble.
Oh, that is a terrible, terrible way for the volleyball community of Adelaide to say farewell to the Volleyroos. But Italy, on the back of some interesting setting to win the match, have fair and square won this match 3-1. The Volleyroos, though, were gallant 2 nights in a row. But at 25-23 and 3-1, Italy have defeated the Volleyroos in this second match at the Adelaide Arena.